Welcome to Foot in Mouth. The Premier League is finally back, and that opening weekend was pretty good. It had a little bit of everything, really. Had some debuts, we had some upsets, we had some expected wins. But yeah, overall, I think there were just a couple more reminders of how you can never be too sure what to expect in this league. I know that we shouldn't look too much into preseason, but based off the preseason forms of some clubs, I was expecting results to go a different way. Speaking of preseason, I do think that we kind of saw how important it is in the opening games. We saw it in the opening game itself, Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. In that game, look, yeah, Arsenal won 2-0, but it wasn't easy. But one thing that I think made a big difference was the club's pre-seasons. Crystal Palace had such a disjointed preseason. Half their team was in Australia, the other half stayed back. That was just a mess, you know. Whereas Arsenal managed to get their transfer work done pretty early, or at least most of it. I think they're still going to sign a couple more, at least one more. But yeah, most signings were done early, so Arteta had his full squad with him to work with on all the tactics, all the different philosophies that they want to use going into this new season. And I think that showed on the night. Crystal Palace have had our number. You know, for the last 8 Premier League meetings, we haven't beaten them. So for us to pull off a win like that, which on paper, I think some people just kind of expected Arsenal to win, which is a little bit naive, you know, because the stats don't lie. We have had a terrible time against Crystal Palace. I was expecting a tough game. Crystal Palace took 10 points off the top 6 clubs last season, so a game at Selhurst Park is not where you want to start your new campaign. But I mean, look, Arsenal rose to the occasion, and like I was saying about the preseason playing an impact, we just looked like we were a bit more prepared for the game. Crystal Palace, they did have a good game. It's not that we outplayed them on all fronts, you know what I mean? I think that there were moments where they dominated, but we just looked very well put together. And that preseason made a big difference, man. It made a huge difference. And of course, also some good performances from some players, namely Mr. William Saliba on his Premier League debut. I cannot believe that this kid put in a performance like that. We knew he was good. You know, last season he won the Young French Footballer of the Year in his League One loan at Marseille. But, I mean, for basically his Premier League debut in general, and he's playing on the opening night of the new season at Selhurst Park, that's a lot of pressure. But, that dude is just too cool on the ball. He's so calm, he's so composed. And I think that he is going to transform Arsenal's defense this season. I really do. And Ben White as well. Shout out to Ben White playing at right back. Not his usual position, but he kind of handled Zaha quite well. And Zaha is a handful for anyone, especially if you're playing, if someone in an unfamiliar position. Like Ben White's good, but that's not his usual at all. I think going into the game, Vieira probably thought that Zaha could take advantage of him a little bit, but nah, man, Ben White stood up to the challenge, and there were a lot of solid performances on the night. I think that was a statement win by Arsenal, in my opinion. I say it's a statement win because we had a terrible record against them. Everything was going against us. We kept a clean sheet, which is especially great, especially against Crystal Palace. And again, you know, a lot of pressure, all eyes on us, league opener, and we did it, man. We did a good job. As far as debuts go, I mean, for me, look, William Saliba stood out the most. I know that Haaland got a brace on his debut, but look, we expect him to get goals. And look, speaking of Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne finally has a striker, y'all, and I think it's gonna be scary, man. There have been recent doubts that I've been reading quite a lot about how De Bruyne might fit into Pep's style of play, but if that first game was anything to go off of, it doesn't look like it's gonna take him very long to just own his new role there. He's crazy. He's such a baller. That whole Man City team, as usual, I mean, they're so good, it looks boring to watch, you know, and I really hope that Arsenal look just as boring one of these days, because man, I think they're probably gonna win the league again this season. I'm gonna say it here and now. I think it's gonna happen. I know it's just one game into a new season, but they just look crazy good, man, and Haaland's only gonna get better. Even Alvarez looks good. Like it's gonna be Another one of those seasons, I think. But yeah, Liverpool are still going to put up a fight. They had a bit of a scare in the opener. I don't think anybody expected Fulham to take it that far. 2-2. That was crazy. Mitrovic, man, elite goal scorer. We knew this about him. But to pull off a brace against Liverpool on Fulham's return to the Premier League, that was crazy. That was huge. That's another debut that just went perfect as it could go, I guess. I mean, I don't think Fulham were expecting a win before, but yeah, that was an intense game, and all credit to Fulham. I think they really played a good game, and probably had Liverpool quite stunned. Darwin Núñez did get his official goal for the club in his league debut, so that's going to be good for his confidence. And Salah getting right off to a good start. He's got himself a goal as well, and Liverpool played okay for most parts of the game, but they're gonna have to step up quite a bit going forward, because that game against United is coming up pretty soon. But if United, speaking of United, yeah, they're gonna need to step things up. I don't think anyone expected, but jokes aside, banter aside, I don't think anyone actually expected United to lose to Brighton like that. And that's a game where I especially kind of feel like more credit has to go to Brighton, because dude, Graham Potter just tactically just got it spot on, in all areas. And I was especially interested to see how he basically made use of the new 5 subs rule. I think he used it pretty well. Brighton were in the lead. They were controlling parts of the game, and as soon as they got that own goal, Graham Potter responded immediately, and until the final whistle, he just brought on a steady flow of defensive players to make things even more difficult for Man United, and it worked. They got the 3 points at Old Trafford. That is not the start that Ten Hag had in mind. It's not the start that fans had in mind. I do think that the booing at full time was a little bit much. It's just the first game of the new season. I think that yeah, I understand that there's frustration, but look, there's a lot of football still to be played, and I highly doubt that Man United aren't gonna get better from here. That was just one of those classic Premier League shockers, in my opinion, and I think we're gonna get a lot of those throughout this season. Bournemouth got a win. Aston Villa, Steven Gerrard has built quite a nice team in Aston Villa, and he's improved on it in this transfer window, but losing to Bournemouth, not the start that I think he had in mind either. I mean, of the promoted clubs, Nottingham Forest are the only ones that didn't get a point this weekend. Now, I think Nottingham Forest are obviously going to improve as well. They just bought Jesse Lingard in, and I think he's on big bucks there, so he's going to have quite a few things to prove. But yeah, man, I think you never know what to expect in this league now, pretty much more than ever. Even Chelsea had a hard time taking on Everton. They needed a penalty to get the win. And Chelsea, look, their new signings look good, okay? They do look good. Raheem Sterling, I mean, anyone that watches the Premier League, you know how dangerous this guy can be. Once he starts adjusting to his new role there and he starts fitting into that style of play with his new teammates, I think he's going to be a big success at that club. I think he's just too good. He's going to be a big success there. Koulibaly, dude, he looks so Premier League ready. Like, those two are really good, but they not enough, man. I don't feel especially threatened by Chelsea so far, and yeah, look, I may be a little bit biased based on preseason. Arsenal beat Chelsea 4-0. That could be playing a part, but overall, man, their play in that game against Everton, I think that they needed that penalty, and I think that says a lot. Everton really struggled last season, so for them to have a start like that, yeah, even though they took a loss, that was a good performance. It was a good show. So yeah, I think Chelsea are gonna need to they're gonna need to put in a lot more work in the transfer window. They've had a lot of bad luck in the transfer window. I think Todd Bowley is getting a very rude welcome to football. But yeah, man, they're gonna have to do something. Timo Werner's leaving the club now, or left the club now, if that's happened by the time you've seen this video. So they're definitely gonna be more active. But yeah, I think they're gonna wanna step that up pronto. So yeah, guys, now that the dust has settled on the opening weekend a little bit, and we've had a taste of the new season, something that I want to kind of start doing now is looking at an overall man of the match for the weekend. And this weekend, it was a little tough, I guess. We had Haaland getting his brace, but like I said, I think everyone kind of expected him to get goals in the opening weekend. And then there's Mitrovic. Now Mitrovic, I think, was in with a real shout for me, because obviously to get 2 goals against Liverpool, Not many strikers can say they've done that, especially against this Liverpool squad. But look, I have to go with William Saliba. I think William Saliba put in an amazing performance for his Premier League debut, and I do think that Crystal Palace versus Arsenal was one of the toughest games of the opening weekend. It's one of the toughest games for any club at any point in the season going to Selhurst Park. So I think to open up the new Premier League season, making your debut under conditions like that for a club that has a terrible record against this, and to play like that was insane. William Saliba, that's my man of the weekend. And then my overall team of the weekend, not so much one made up of different players from different clubs or anything like that, just a club that impressed me in particular most. I have to give it to Brighton. I really do. I cannot stress enough how much I didn't expect Man United to lose that game. At the very least, I thought they'd get a point. But I think Graham Potter that was great management tactically. I think the players, Danny Welbeck, man, what a performance against his former club. That was the one for me. I think they really impressed me this weekend. So that's my team of the week overall. Now I'm sure that a lot of you guys are going to disagree with my picks for this weekend, but let me know your guys in the comments below. Let me know who your guys' overall man of the match was and who your team of the week was. Also, I just want to let you guys know this episode is sponsored by 7 and 9 Studios. I will put their website in the description below so you guys can check that out whenever you have time. And that's it for this video. New Premier League season finally started. It's off to a good start as well, so keen to see how everything unfolds. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.